What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 6-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. This video is officially sponsored by Jock Market. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/dgfantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on Draftkings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 6-game slate. But first, we have to take a look at the injury report. As you guys know, we always take a look at the injury report when it comes to NBA because certain players do benefit with other players off of the court. So, taking a look at the very first game, by the way, this slate does tip off at 8 o'clock, not 7. So, we're going to be going live before lock at around 6:30 p.m. to give you our last-minute updates on the injury news. With Chicago, we have Hutchinson, Markkanen, and Otto Porter out for these guys. With Houston, we have Oladipo, Exum, and Wood out for Houston. But here's the confusing part, okay? Demarcus Cousins. They've already announced that they're going to be parting ways probably with Demarcus Cousins. Usually when that happens, they don't play the player any longer because then they risk injury, and if he gets injured before he wants to, before they want to trade him, well then obviously that doesn't bode well because you can't trade a player that's injured. That makes no sense for the other team. So why would they go out and play Demarcus Cousins? That being said, technically he is questionable and probable for this contest, so that doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what's going on with Demarcus Cousins, but if he actually is going and being traded from the Houston Rockets right now, I'm going to assume he's not going to play. Okay, I really don't know what that probable tag means, but according to ESPN, according to the report circulating out there, he's probable. Whatever, we're going to assume he's not playing. Memphis, Dillon Brooks, Jackson, and Tilly are out for these guys. Dallas, no injuries. With Portland, Collins, Giles, McCollum, and Nurkic are all out for these guys. With Phoenix, nobody's out for them. With Miami, we still have Bradley, Dragic, and Silva still out for these guys. However, Tyler Hero is questionable. If he is going to be held out, that's going to impact this picture a lot. We know Tyler Hero is a high usage guy and also a volume shooter, so definitely something to be paying attention to. With OKC, we have Ariza and George Hill out. With Charlotte, we have Graham and Martin out. Utah, nothing going on there. With Washington, just Ish Smith. And then last but not least, the Lakers are without Anthony Davis and Schroeder. Schroeder for the little bit of a longer term. So let's switch over to the very first game here. We have Chicago benefiting without Hutchinson, Markkanen, and Otto Porter. That gives a slight usage boost here to Zach LaVine, averaging 1.48 fantasy points per minute on the season with those guys off the floor. 9.5K price tag. Very soft defense they are going against right now. We have him penned at a 5.4 point per dollar value. I think he's a great GPP option, but probably not going to be cash viable. Wendell Carter Jr. has been inserted back into the lineup. He's projected around 29 minutes. I do like that. He's also a 5.4 point per dollar value. Historically, he's around a 1 fantasy point per minute player, so don't mind him in GPPs as well. And then going down the list here, Garrett Temple, not that bad of an option at a 4.8K price tag, a volume shooter. And then last but not least, I do like Kobe White here, averaging 1.05 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court and a 5.2 point per dollar value. All GPP plays for me here. This is expected to be relatively competitive and a very soft matchup versus the Houston Rockets. Now, here's this mess of a team here from the Houston Rockets. If Demarcus Cousins is held out, you have to load up on guys like John Wall, Eric Gordon, and any of the usage guys. Deshaun Tate has been taking up a decent amount of usage. These guys are going to be great, fantastic plays here for the Houston Rockets if Demarcus Cousins is held out, because Demarcus Cousins does have a very high usage rate, averaging 1.32 fantasy points per minute on the season when he is on the court. You take those guys off and you just take the usage and go straight to Eric Gordon and John Wall. Those guys are going to be automatic locks if Demarcus Cousins is held out. Now, if he is held out, there's not too many center options here for the team. They're going to have to play small ball. PJ Tucker does fit that mold, 3.5K. I know how much I hate him, but he is probably going to be sliding into the center position if Demarcus Cousins is held out. 3.5K, you can't turn your head from that. Going to be playing around 35 minutes. I absolutely love PJ Tucker if Demarcus Cousins is held out. But again, we have no idea what's going on with Demarcus Cousins. We will be touching base on that here a little bit later in the day on the live stream. Next on the list is actually going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. They are without a couple people, Jaren Jackson, Dylan Brooks, and also Tilly. That does impact the minutes here. Justice Winslow is back, 3.6K. Don't mind him for value, actually. 22 minutes. Did actually play pretty well in 21 minutes in his last game, which is about the amount of minutes he's going to be playing in this game. Probably a little bit more. So he's averaging close to a fantasy point per minute here historically on his career. So we're going to take that with a grain of salt. Right now, projected at 22 minutes, a 5.6 point per dollar value. Don't mind him for value. Brandon Clark, next on the list, a 5.4 point per dollar value. John Morant, 7.5K. Did get that price decrease, 33 minutes, 5.4 point per dollar value. So I don't mind him. But probably more GPP options for me because this is going to be a pace down spot for the Memphis Grizzlies. Next on the list is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. These guys are going to be in a pace up spot versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Don't mind them. I actually like them. Josh Richardson, very cheap, 4.9K, 5.6 point per dollar value. Kleber, 4.3K, projected in 28 minutes. DFS, also not that bad of a play, 4.8K. All these guys are actually great value plays in a pace up spot here versus the Memphis Grizzlies. One guy we're going to be paying attention to ownership-wise is going to be Doncic, 11.4K. He's in a great spot to succeed tonight, 37 minutes. And also Porzingis at 8.5K. Those guys are going to be great options here in a pace-up spot. Going to be taking a look here at ownership to see if they're going to be cash viable or GPP viable, because I do like them in GPPs here if they are carrying very low ownership in a pace-up spot. Next on the list here is going to be Miami versus OKC. Definitely don't like this matchup. Going to be a pace-down spot for both of these guys. Jimmy Butler has been playing out of his mind as of late, so if you guys want to play him just for that sole reason, 9.2K is still barely underpriced. 35 minutes at 5.1 point per dollar value. But again, all the injury news depends on Tyler Hero. If he is held out, that's going to give a slight boost to all these guys across the board. Absolutely love them here in this spot. But Tyler Hero is the only injury news we're going to be pending from this team that's really going to impact this picture. In this pace down spot, a 213.5 is actually lowest on the slate. And then next on the list here is going to be OKC. Not too much interest here. Muscala technically showing good value, 3.8K, projected in 24 minutes, a 5.4 point per dollar value. And then always looking at SGA, but this is a very bad matchup here for the OKC team. With that being said, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors.
Jock Market is one of the most innovative ways to play daily fantasy sports today. Just like the real stock market, Jock Market allows you to buy and sell players to earn profit based on their performances throughout the day and night. They are currently offering a variety of sports where you can enter their markets and buy them for potential gains. Unlike normal other DFS sites, once the slate starts, you can make numerous changes to your stocks by buying new players you think will continue to perform well or sell players you think are going to underperform.
Right now, they are running every sport with overlay, which gives you an easier chance to win than other major DFS platforms. Download Jock Market now on the App Store and use code DGF to receive a $20 deposit bonus. Be sure to subscribe here for all future Jock Market content. And just to reiterate, that code is DGF20 for a $20 bonus there on Jock Market. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the Portland-Phoenix game. Portland's still benefiting without the injuries here, but this is going to be a slight pace down spot for the Portland Trailblazers. Only projected at 112 points. That is actually relatively low for them. Damian Lillard stands out the most, 10.9K, averaging 1.48 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court, a 5 point per dollar value, but really nobody else shows too well here on our sheet. Canner, 7K is going to be a little too pricey for my liking. Carmelo Anthony, 4.7K is probably the best option. Not too much interest here from the Portland Trailblazers. Going down the list here, Phoenix. DeAndre Ayton is still under 7K. Definitely mispriced. 6.9K. I hope people are off of him because he only played 22 minutes in the last contest due to a blowout. Because of that, I'm going right back to the well. I think DeAndre Ayton is very underpriced in a very good matchup and a pace-up spot versus Canner and the Portland Trailblazers. So absolutely love him. Devin Booker is going to be more of a GPP play, and same thing with Chris Paul at 7.8K. But I do like that price tag on Chris Paul. Going down the list here, we have Charlotte versus Utah. Charlotte is still benefiting without the likes of Graham and also Caleb Martin. So you take those guys off the court. And I really do like this price tag on Gordon Hayward, a 5.2 point per dollar value, a 7.1K price tag, 34 minutes. He has been in a little bit of a slump, but if you're in the revenge narratives, when he played in Utah, was a very good player. So I do like him here at a 7.1K price tag. I think he does fit the mold here. I think he's a very good play here. I think he's going to be cash viable, and I think he just passes the eye test. Again, hasn't been playing that well as as of late, but I think he does pick it up here against the Utah Jazz. LaMelo Ball, 8.6K, 5 point per dollar value, 35 projected minutes right now. Definitely don't mind him for GPPs. And then Terry Rozier has been playing out of his mind, 8.1K price tag. Got another price increase projected at 36 minutes and a 5 point per dollar value. So I don't mind him. All these guys are just going to be GPP options with maybe the exception of Gordon Hayward. And then switching over to Utah. Utah doesn't have any injuries for the first time, and it seems like a while. The price tags here, 3.3K on Derek Favors, has been playing more minutes. Don't mind him as a GPP punt play. Rudy Gobert in a very good matchup, 7.4K. Be interesting to see what his ownership is going to be looking like because he's only center eligible. We know that when guys are only center eligible, their ownership is relatively low. A 5.5 point per dollar value. Definitely like him for a GPP option here versus the Charlotte Hornets. Don't mind him at all. Bogdanovich, Conley coming back projected at 28 minutes. Don't mind those two for GPP. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell at 8.7K. And then last but not least, we have the Washington Wizards versus the LA Lakers. And the LA Lakers are probably drawing the most chalk as of right now just because they are going to be in a pace-up spot and they are benefiting with current injuries. We're going to be taking a look at them here in just a second. But on the Washington side, not too much to like here. Robin Lopez, probably the best value play, 3.8K, 25 minutes, 5.3 point per dollar value. Avdija, 34 minutes, or 3.4K, projected in 22 minutes, a 5.1 point per dollar value. And then these two superstars are still too pricey for me when they play with each other. Don't mind them in GBPs, but just definitely don't like them in cash. 9.9K for Bradley Beal, and same thing with Russell Westbrook. 10.1K got a price increase, so I'm going to be off of these guys for cash. And then last but not least, the most obvious cash options on the slate. THT, a 5.9 point per dollar value, 22 minutes. I think he's one of the more obvious value plays on the entire slate. If this game does go, if this game does have blowout potential, then THT is going to play the entirety of the fourth. Right now, he's only projected at 22 minutes without that, and he's still averaging close to a fantasy point per minute with these guys off the court. So a 3.7K price tag. Definitely don't mind him for value. And then LeBron James is going to be the most obvious play on the slate. A pace-up spot, benefiting without AD and Schroeder. He has to step it up tonight. He has no other options. 36 minutes, 5.5 point per dollar value, averaging 1.46 fantasy points per minute on the season with these current guys off the court. We love shooters in pace-up spots. Caldwell Pope does fit that mold. 3.9K projected in 31 minutes, 5.5 point per dollar value. Marcus Gasol, also not that bad of a fantasy point per minute option. 4.2K price tag. Did get a price decrease because he's actually been playing very, very well. We have him projected at 22.77 fantasy points and a 5.4 point per dollar value. So don't mind him either, but the rest are going to be GBP options for me. Definitely going to prioritize THT, LeBron, and possibly Caldwell Pope in cash in a pace-up spot versus the Washington Wizards. And that will wrap up my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.